I'm curious to see who follows the rating system on IMDb. Like, what is someone's, like, go-to movie site to find, like, movie ratings and stuff? Do they go to Rotten Tomatoes? Do they go to Metacritic? Or do they go to IMDb? I'm just curious. Very curious. Hey everyone, welcome to the ranking. Here's my ranking of all the IMDb's top 20 best movies of all time list. Yes, as you all know, if you're very familiar with the site IMDb, which is a movie site that has movie ratings and stuff, and it tells you all the information about any movie and stuff, who wrote it, who directed it, who stars in it and stuff, anyone who's involved with the filmmaking process of that film. And yeah, if you know IMDb, then you know of the IMDb top 250. Yes, in IMDb's opinion, what is the top 250 movies of all time? And as much as there's a lot of amazing films on that list, I don't fully agree with it, but that's why it's an opinion. It's all subjective. Like, it's not an objective list. And yeah, I thought it'd be very fun to rank the IMDb top 20. Like, I was gonna do maybe a little bit more than the top 20, but I can't do the whole 250 ranking and talk about all those films, because then that would be like a 5-hour video, and I don't think I have the time and patience to do that. And yeah, Blade Runner is on the top 250. Definitely not on the top 20, though. But yeah, I thought I'd just do a ranking, a personal ranking of the IMDb top 20. This is the top 20 best movies of all time according to IMDb, and I'm going to rank them from my least favorite to my favorite and see how my ranking goes with the IMDb ranking. I'm going to compare both rankings together and stuff. And yeah, and before I get to the ranking, I'm actually going to share with you what IMDb thinks is the top 20 best movies of all time. Alright, let's get to it. This is what IMDb thinks. I don't fully agree with it, but this is what they think. Number 1, Shawshank Redemption. Number 2, The Godfather. Number 3, The Godfather Part 2. Number 4 is The Dark Knight. 5 is 12 Angry Men. 6 is Schindler's List. 7 is Pulp Fiction. 8 is Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. 9 is The Good and the Bad and the Ugly. 10 is Fight Club. Oh, I just talked about Fight Club. Alright, number 11 is Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring. 12 is Forrest Gump. Jenny. 13 is Empire Strikes Back. 14 is Inception. Boom. 15 is The Two Towers, Lord of the Rings. 16 is One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. 17 is Goodfellas. 18 is The Matrix. 19 is Seven Samurai. And yes, number 20 is the 1977 Star Wars film. All of those movies are good. I can admit flat out that those are all great films. They're very good movies. I just personally, I wouldn't put a lot of those movies on the top 20 of my favorite lists, or even the top 250, but that's it. That's IMDb's opinion, and I'm going to rank all of those movies. All 20 of those movies I just said, I'm going to rank them from my least favorite to my favorite. So yeah, let's get to it. Coming in at number 20 for me is Forrest Gump. Run, Forrest, run! Directed by Robert Zemeckis, and yeah, IMDb had Forrest Gump at number, what did I say? They have Forrest Gump at number 12. I have it at number 20. This is definitely the weakest out of the top 20 IMDb list. It's a very good movie. Tom Hanks is so good in the film, and I understand when he won the Academy Award, I would have given it to him for Castaway over Forrest Gump, but it's still a good movie with very emotionally hard-hitting scenes. There are some very despicable characters, but it is a very good story with some good laughs and some very hard-hitting dramatic scenes. And again, Tom Hanks is good. Robert Zemeckis' direction is really solid. Robert Wright is also very good. Gary Sinise is really good. It's actually a really well-told story, and it's very timeless. I think it is a very timeless film. Some people really don't like it now. People loved it when it came out, but not so much now. But I still really enjoy Forrest Gump. I don't think it deserved to win Best Picture. I think Pulp Fiction, Quiz Show, Shawshank Redemption, all of those movies were way better movies to win Best Picture. But I still like Forrest Gump, but it's definitely the weakest out of this IMDb top 20 list. So yeah, Forrest Gump, definitely the weakest. Coming number 19 is Schindler's List. Schindler's List is actually number 9, I think. It is number 6. Number 6 on the IMDb top 20. It's number 19 for me. Great movie. It's a great Spielberg movie. Everyone knows that Steven Spielberg is my favorite director of all time. This is definitely not my favorite. It is a well-made movie. I will not dog it for anything. It is a extremely well-crafted film. It is so well-directed. Ray Fiennes is terrifying in this film. He is so good. So is Liam Neeson. So is Sir Ben Kingsley. Everyone is so good. The black and white cinematography looks fantastic, and how he uses the contrast of color is fantastic. It is very emotional. It is incredibly hard to watch. It's a movie, it's about concentration camps. How is this movie supposed to be an easy watch? I've only seen this movie twice, and it's pretty unbearable to watch because it is too realistic, and that is a strength for the film. That is a compliment. It is so damn unwatchable because it's so goddamn realistic. But that's why it's only number 19. All these other films I can watch multiple times and still have an impact on me and still have fun with it. Schindler's List is a fantastic film, but it's definitely not a fun or entertaining film, so that's why it's number 19. Just a personal list, just a personal opinion. I understand why it's number 6, but just not for me. Coming number 18 is Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. Yes, number 18 for me. This is number 15 for IMDb's top 20. I'm surprised all of Lord of the Rings films made it on the top 20 list, which is interesting, because I love Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings is one of my favorite trilogies of all time, but I'm surprised all 3 of them made it on. Like, I understand the first one and the third one, but Two Towers is a damn good film. It is a really well-made film. It's a great action movie. The Battle of Helm's Deep is such a great and epic battle sequence, and it's so good. It's so epic on a big scale. It introduces us to Faramir. Gollum is a bigger part of the role, a bigger part of the movies, and he's so awesome. Every scene with Andy Serkis as Smeagol/Gollum is fantastic. I love the story. There are some really hard-hitting scenes in it, but it is the weakest. It actually is like my second least favorite out of the Middle-earth movies. Well, actually, I think Desolation of Smaug and Battle of the Five Armies are weaker. I think Two Towers is better, but I actually like The Hobbit: Unexpected Journey better than The Two Towers. And again, Two Towers is a great film. It's got amazing, groundbreaking cinematography and visual effects, but I just had more fun with An Unexpected Journey and the other Lord of the Rings films, so I'm very surprised it made the top 20 IMDb list. It's a great film, but I don't know if I would put it on the top 20. Coming number 17 is One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Yes, it's 16 on IMDb, it's 17 on my list. It's a great film, again, a very good movie. Again, like Schindler's List, it's not a very watchable movie because how disturbing and realistic the movie is and stuff, and I love Jack Nicholson. He is so great in this movie. That actress, I forget her name, who plays Nurse Ratched, is so damn good. Everyone's great, even like Danny DeVito and Christopher Lloyd, they're all really solid in this film. It's very emotional, especially what happens at the end. I won't spoil it, but it is sad. It is so sad. And it's a very realistic story about the mental hospital and people, mental patients in a mental institution. And it's a really well-made movie. Milos Forman directed the movie so freaking well, but again, it's not very watchable. It doesn't have that watchability factor like other films on this top 20 list, but it's still a damn good film. Coming number 16 is The Matrix. Yes, it's 18 on IMDb, it's 16 for me. This is a great film. What the Wachowskis did with The Matrix is fantastic. I love the homage to old school martial arts, kung fu movies. It's a very groundbreaking film. It's a very original film, even though it borrows things from like Ghost in the Shell and stuff, and like in Dark City and everything. Like, it is not fully original, but again, the story and the characters are original, and it's groundbreaking. It's very groundbreaking. The sequel's not so much, but this is a very good film. I like Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss and Lawrence Fishburne in the film. I like these characters. I like the story. I love Hugo Weaving as Agent Smith, Mr. Anderson. Such a good film. The action's great. The visuals are great. The story is great. It's smart. It's clever. Again, I wouldn't put on a top 20 list, but it's understandable. Coming number 15 is The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Yes, bow, wow, wow. Oh. I love it. Sergio Leone, what he did with this movie, how he directed it, how he executed it, it was so great. It's just a great, fun spaghetti western. It's like number 9 on the IMDb list. I wouldn't put it that low. It's not better than a lot of other films on this, but it's still a great western. One of my favorites. It's no Unforgiven, but it's still a damn great western. I love Lee Van Cleef, Clint Eastwood, Eli Wallach, The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, Tuco, Blondie. It's such a great story. I love that it's about these guys who are after this treasure and stuff, and it's so great. The action's really good. It's not dated in the slightest bit. There are some, like, old school westerns that I still love that are very dated and a bit corny. This one is not. It is very gritty, very brutal, very dark, and it keeps your interest for the whole 2 hours and 40 minutes. So yeah, it's a solid western, and I absolutely love it. Coming number 14 is The Shawshank Redemption. Yes, it is number 1. According to IMDB, this is the best movie of all time. For me, it's 14, which I might get a lot of hate, like, oh, fuck you, man, The Shawshank is so fucking good. It's so good. It's like the greatest thing ever. I completely get it. I understand. This is a damn great film. What Frank Darabont did with it is so good. Tim Robbins is great. Morgan Freeman as Red is great. First time I saw Andy Dufresne. Oh, so great. Still with Chinejo. Like, you better get busy living or get busy dying. It's just such a quotable film. The characters are just such awesome, iconic characters. It's a very brutal movie about what life is like in prison, and it is a dark movie, at times very comedic, and a very emotionally hard-hitting film. Especially what happens to some of these characters. I won't spoil it. If you haven't seen Shawshank, come on, man. What are you doing? But there's a lot of deaths in this movie that really hit me. Like, it is really fucking sad. And it is just a great film with a perfect ending. And I absolutely love it. I think it's a great film. I don't consider it the best movie of all time. That is, again, strictly opinion. But I don't disagree that a lot of people think it is the greatest movie of all time. I may not think so, but I can definitely understand because it is a phenomenal film. Coming number 13 is Fight Club. Yes, rule number 1, we do not talk about Fight Club. Rule number 2, we do not talk about Fight Club. Yes, this is number 10, I think number 10 on the IMDb top 20 list, and again, I completely understand. I still think Seven is a better David Fincher movie than Fight Club, but Fight Club is so good. Again, it's an iconic film. It's a groundbreaking film as well. The way they told the story and executed it, it's very different, very fresh, it's very dark. This was panned by the critics too when it first came out, and now it's just loved by everyone. It is so fucking good. Brad Pitt's amazing as Tyler Durden, and Edward Norton as the narrator is fantastic. I love Bonham Carter, Meatloaf, Jared Leto. Like, everyone is just brilliant in this film. How this movie ends is great. It's got a great twist that everybody knows, but you don't see coming when you first see the film ever. Like, it's so good. Cinematography, the editing, the gritty this is not like an action movie kind of violence. It is a dramatic thriller, but the violence is like some of the most brutal violence you'll see. It's more brutal than actually some R-rated action films. It is just disturbing and brutal violence, and I absolutely love it. It's just an amazing film. Coming number 12 is Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. Yes, this is number 8 on the IMDb. Is it number 8? Is number 8. Everyone, this is most people's favorite Lord of the Rings movie. The Return of the King is everyone's favorite because it won like 11 Academy Awards and stuff. Everyone thinks this is the best Lord of the Rings movie. Again, like Shawshank Redemption, I completely understand. I completely get it. Personally, it's not my favorite. I love the film. It's so good. I love the action. That's probably some of the best action scenes you'll see in like any fantasy movie of all time. What Peter Jackson did with it was so good. The score is amazing. So many moments are just so great. The Battle of Minas Tirith is so amazing. The Battle of Osgiliath is so great too. The ending battle at the Black Gate, just epic battles. And like, there's a lot of great moments too when like Frodo and Sam are climbing up Mount Doom stuff, and Frodo tries to put the ring on, puts the ring on, Smeagol bites his finger off. Just like, there's just so many great moments in the Return of the King, and there's a lot of sad moments. The ending to this movie makes me bawl every single time. Well, the scene with "You bow to no one," that's a great scene too, but the very end, how this movie ends, it is sad. It really gets me every time. Like, tears are running. Like, it is just a really sad ending. Again, it's an amazing film, 10 out of 10. It's not my favorite Lord of the Rings movie, but again, I completely understand. This is a terrific film, and I'm so glad the Oscars took their sticks up their ass and gave a fantasy film a Best Picture win. So yeah, because it completely deserved it. Coming number 11 is Seven Samurai. Yes, this is number 19 on the IMDb list. Number 11 for me. This is great. This is Akira Kurosawa's masterpiece. I'm finally getting to it. I'm going to be doing a top 10 of my favorite Akira Kurosawa films. It took me almost a year to watch all of his films because some of his films were just really fucking hard to find. Thank God after they're classic, I watched a few of them, but yeah, I finally watched all of Akira Kurosawa's films, and I'm going to be doing a top 10 list near the future, probably in a week or two, and yeah. I saw this, this was the first Akira Kurosawa film I watched, like, years ago. I still stand by this is his masterpiece. This is fantastic. It's the Magnificent Seven story. This actually is the original story, what Magnificent Seven borrowed off of. It's the American remake of Seven Samurai. Basically, it's about these seven samurai protecting these village full of farmers. All these bandits are like raiding their village and killing them and stealing their food. And they basically hire these seven samurai to defend the village. And it's great. I absolutely adore this film. How Akira Kurosawa directed the film was amazing. I love these characters. I love the setup of it too, how you get to know these farmers. It's a very long film. It's a 3.5-hour movie. You get really in depth with the characters, and I absolutely love it. The performances are fantastic, and these are actors I don't really know much about because these are Japanese actors, classic Japanese actors, and everyone's fantastic. And this movie, again, is just a masterpiece. Coming number 10 is The Godfather Part 2. Yes, this is number 3 on the top 10 IMDb, top 20 IMDb list. Number 3. Again, like Return of the King and stuff, everyone thinks Godfather 2 is better than Godfather 1. I understand, like, it's a great film. I love it. I love Godfather Part 2. I love the dialogue. I love the rating. I love what Francis Ford Coppola did with the story. Al Pacino's performance is even better, and his character is more compelling in Godfather Part 2, Michael Corleone, and yeah, I love it. And I love De Niro. I love that they go to the young Vito Corleone story. De Niro plays the young Marlon Brando. He's amazing, that story. That story is the best part of Godfather Part 2, but I still have that soft spot for the first one. I still love the second one, though. I love how it's written. I love how it all plays out. Again, I don't want to spoil it, but if you haven't watched Godfather yet, go watch it. But the ending, my God, what an epic way to end a almost franchise. They made a third one, which I don't hate, but yeah, a lot of people don't like that one. But Godfather 2 had a great ending, a great climax. It has great characters, great stories. It's solidly directed, and yeah, it's a fantastic film. Coming number 9 is 12 Angry Men. Yes, 12 Angry Men is number 5 on the top 20 IMDb list. Again, I can definitely see why. I think this is a brilliant film. I absolutely love it. This is my favorite Sidney Lumet film. Like, I love Network and Serpico, but I think this is Sidney Lumet's best film. I love a simple story about all these jury members all talking about this case. Did this boy commit this murder? And all the jury members want to find him guilty, but one jury member, played by Henry Fonda, wants to just talk about it. He's saying not guilty because he just wants to talk it over with all these people. And that's the whole movie. These 12 men discussing this case and maybe thinking, maybe this kid didn't commit this crime and stuff. And it is a fantastic movie. The writing is fantastic. I love simple stories about one location and people just talking throughout the whole film. It's just so great. It's a great dialogue movie. If you love good dialogue films, definitely this is one of the best dialogue films out there. Like right there with Good Night and Good Luck and the 4 trilogy. It's just a great, solid dialogue film, and yeah, I absolutely love it. Coming number 8 is Pulp Fiction. Yes, me and IMDb are really close. Pulp Fiction is number 7. It's number 8 for me. It's Quentin Tarantino's best film. It's his best film, masterpiece. It's so great. It's so unique. It's so fresh. It's so different. It's so weird. So darkly comedic. So freaking dark and messed up. I absolutely love every second of Pulp Fiction. I love the characters between Jules, Vincent Vega, Mr. Wolf, Marcel Wallace, Mia, everyone's fantastic. Honey Bunny, everyone's fantastic. Bumpkin, all of them are great. Butch, played by amazing actors Bruce Willis, John Travolta, Samuel Jackson, Uma Thurman, Vin Rhames. Everyone is amazing in this film. The stories and how they all connect and they're not in a linear way is brilliant. This is filmmaking at its best. Everyone knows I've praised Pulp Fiction a bajillion times, and I'll keep praising it for the rest of my life because it's amazing. Coming number 7 is The Godfather. Yes, The Godfather, the very first one. This is number 2 in the IMDb top 20, and again, I get it. This is a brilliant film. This is one of the greatest mob movies I've ever seen in my entire life. Right there with Goodfellas. But yeah, I think this is amazing. I love Marlon Brando's performance. I love Robert Duvall, James Caan, Al Pacino, Diane Keaton. I was about to say Diane Lane. Francis Ford Coppola's writing direction was solid. The story's amazing. It's fascinating. I love the story of the Corleone family. I love what Michael goes through, what Vito goes through, what Sonny goes through. So sad. So sorry, Sonny. I absolutely love everything about it. I just find the story more interesting. I know everyone likes the second one more, but I just personally have an attachment more with the first one. I get intrigued more with the story. I like what the characters go through in that one more than the second one. I still love both films, but this one I just like a little more. Coming number 6 is Goodfellas. Goodfellas is number 17 on the IMDb list, so way off from me. everyone will say Godfather is probably the best mob movie ever made. One of the greatest crime films ever. I say Goodfellas. I think Goodfellas is the best mob movie ever made. Right there, Eastern Promise is up there too, but I love Goodfellas. Funny how? My clown, do I amuse you? Tell me I'm fucking funny. Joe Pesci's amazing. I love his performance. One of the best supporting roles ever. Al Pacino. Robert De Niro as Jimmy is fantastic. Ray Liotta's great. And everyone's fantastic in this movie. I love the story. It feels so real. Like, I feel like I'm in this story with these mobsters and stuff. I feel like I'm following the story with, oh my god, what's his name? Oh my god. The main guy. Ray Liotta plays him. Oh my god. Henry. Is it Henry? Yeah, I think it's Henry. I love the story. I absolutely love how Martin Scorsese directed this film. I think it's his best film. Even though, I love Hugo and Raging Bull, but I think the story, it's just how he directed it and how he executed it. It was fantastic. I love these characters. I love how it was written. It's a very raw, very gritty film, and I absolutely love it. I think it's the best mob movie ever made. Coming number 5 is Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. Yes, the very first Lord of the Rings movie, number 11, is it 11? Number 11 on the top 20 list. Again, because they like Return of the King. I have a soft spot for first films, and I love Fellowship of the Ring. I've seen Fellowship of the Ring probably more times than all the Lord of the Rings movies and Hobbit movies combined. I love this film. When I got the VHS tape, then I got the DVD and stuff, but I watched the shit out of this. I saw it twice in theaters, and I was blown away by the film because I always loved the books, but the movie just blew me away. I think the movies are even better than the books, and the books are great. J.R.R. Tolkien, what he did with it's fantastic. Fellowship of the Ring just blew me away, and I just have so much fun with it. It's like Raiders of the Lost Ark or Back to the Future or Princess Bride. It's just such a fun movie. I just get into the story, into the characters. It's just a fun adventure. Return of the King is more of an action movie. This is more of an adventure story, and I love adventures. I love going on adventures with people and characters, especially interesting and very likable characters. I love the Hobbits, Frodo, Sam, Merry, Pippin. I love Aragorn, Legolas, Gandalf. Gandalf's the best character, hands down my favorite. The performances are fantastic. What Peter Jackson did, the cinematography looks so beautiful. I want to go vacation in New Zealand because it's just so grand and marvelous, and I just love Fellowship of the Ring. I love all the stuff they go through. I love how it builds up to the sequels. I love it. I love when they're in the mines of Moria and stuff. Such a great scene. One of my favorite scenes in all of Lord of the Rings, and yeah, just amazing. Number 4 is Star Wars. 1977 Star Wars. This is number 20 on the list. I strongly disagree. I am a huge Star Wars fanboy, obviously, so Star Wars had to be on here. I'm not including the special feature Star Wars, what George Lucas did, his little twinkling with Star Wars. No, the original cut, 1977, the one you can buy on VHS, hopefully, in your local store, but the 1977 Star Wars movie is fantastic. It's one of my favorite films of all time. It's the second best Star Wars movie of all time. Force Awakens is very close, but it's still Star Wars. It's Star Wars, and I love it. I love the simple story. I love the simple story about this guy, Luke Skywalker. He's a Jedi Knight like his father. He goes on this amazing adventure to rescue the princess. He has a wise old Jedi, Obi-Wan Kenobi, a smug Han Solo, the greatest movie character ever, played by Harrison Ford. He has to fight an evil villain, Darth Vader, who you do not know until the sequel who he is, and I love it. I love the story. I love how dark it is. I love John Williams' score. Some people say the action's a bit dated. I completely disagree. I think it's great practical effects. The lightsaber duel may be a little dated, but I still think it's fine. It has more emotionality than any lightsaber duel in any of the fucking prequels. I love it. Alec Guinness is fantastic. Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, James Earl Jones. Everyone's fantastic. I love the movie. It's Star Wars. Coming number 3 is Inception. Boom. Boom! Inception. This is number 14 on the top 20 list. I'm surprised they made the top 20. I'm glad it at least made it on the top 20 list because it's a very current movie. It only came out like 7 years ago, 2010, and it's one of my favorite films of all time. Like Christopher Nolan, what he did with it was mind-blowing. It is amazing. This is what so many movies are trying to copy now. Like when The Matrix came out, everyone's like, oh my god, we gotta be like The Matrix. Now Inception came out, everyone wants to have that score. Everyone wants to have that same shot with the mirror on the roof and stuff. People want to do action scenes just like Inception. Every movie wants to be like Inception because Inception is that groundbreaking, that fucking good. Leonardo DiCaprio is fantastic. Ellen Page, Jessica Levitt, Tom Hardy. You must be afraid to dream a little bigger, darling. Ken Watanabe, Marion Cotillard, Cillian Murphy. What Christopher Nolan did with this movie was absolutely revolutionary, and I still think he should have been nominated for Best Director. Oh well, but the movie, amazing. Coming number 2 is The Dark Knight. It's my favorite superhero movie of all time, the greatest Batman movie ever. I'm not wearing hockey pads. Yeah, I'm surprised it's number 4 on the IMDb top 20. I'm surprised. Again, a very current film. I'm surprised no more classics. Yeah, Gone with the Wind, Casablanca, Citizen Kane, Psycho. None of those movies are on this top 20 list, which is freaking bizarre. And I still love this movie, though. I absolutely adore The Dark Knight. I think it's the greatest superhero film of all time. It's amazing. It's got the best Batman. Well, Kevin Conroy's the best Batman, but one of the best live-action Batmans. Heath Ledger's the Joker. Again, like, everyone's praised it. It's a perfect performance. I love the story. I love the action. I love Hans Zimmer's score. I've talked to death about The Dark Knight. Everyone knows I love it. Everyone loves it. It's not overrated. Some people think it is. It's not. It's amazing. And my number 1 favorite movie on the IMDb top 20 best movies of all time list is The Empire Strikes Back. Yes, 1980s, The Empire Strikes Back. It's number 13 on the IMDb list, which I'm still glad. I'm glad both Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back were both on the top 20 list. Rightfully so. They both deserve to be on that list. Empire is just, it's a perfect Star Wars movie. It's not a perfect movie. There's no such thing as a perfect film. It's a perfect Star Wars film. Between the action, the story, the characters, the arcs, the atmosphere, the visuals, the action, everything, what happens, the twist, everything that happens in Empire is amazing, and no one can top it. You can't top it. Even how the movie ends, it like hooks you in. You're like, oh, see you in 3 years, bitches. Oh, that crazy shit happens. Like, you get to meet Yoda for the first time, learn more about the Force, feel the Force around you. Do or do not. There's no try. There's so much symbolism and foreshadowing in the film. It's brilliant filmmaking. How Lawrence Kasdan wrote the film and how Irvin Kershner directed it was amazing. This just goes to show you when George Lucas isn't very much involved, we get an amazing Star Wars movie. Force Awakens and Rogue One are clear examples of that, and Empire's just amazing. It's so good. Han Solo's more of the main character than Luke Skywalker is, but again, both stories are very fascinating, very interesting. Luke on the Dagobah system, and Han Solo on the Millennium Falcon, going through the asteroids and stuff, going to Bespin, meeting Lando Calrissian, getting portrayed by him. It's just great stuff. It's just great stuff. I love you. I know. Amazing. I love everything about Empire Strikes Back. It's one of my favorite films of all time. It's amazing. It's brilliant. Of course, it's number 1. So yeah, that's my ranking of all the IMDb's top 20 best movies of all time list. I hope you all enjoyed this. I might do the same thing with Rotten Tomatoes. Yes, Rotten Tomatoes has a top 20 best list. I might do a ranking of all those 20 films. A very different list than IMDb and stuff. So yeah, look forward to that video. And yeah, of course, in the comment section below, please tell me what is your ranking of all 20 of these films. Make sure you've seen all 20 of them. But if you've seen all 20 of them, how would you rank all 20 of these films? And do you agree with the IMDb list? Do you agree that these 20 films should be the best films of all time? Give me your thoughts and opinions. Comment below. Let me know. And as always, for this video, please like, subscribe to this channel, and join the dark side.